respected a very polite and open black man, constantly disrespecting him. Right. So that itself, so me holding your...
Yeah, this the man that holds it down. Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BigExposedRadio.com. I'm in a relationship. My girl happens to be long distance. So with that being said, I beat my thing like it owes me money. Sorry.
Because I asked that because so many people are not comfortable.
Here's my thing. It's mine.
That's right.
And you need to know yourself before you can have somebody please. If you can't tell nobody how to please you, if you don't know how to please yourself.
That's right.
You know what you like. You know what you like. You know the stroke. All that. So you're right. And I mean, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's your body. Yeah, I'm over here struggling with the ear.
Yeah, I'm glad it's you today. I'm glad it's you today, brother.
Oh, this thing going to drop. It's going to drop about at least like 5 times.
I'm over there struggling.
So E.D., do you have a problem with masturbating?
No, I don't. I don't masturbate often because I have a fear of going blind. So, yes. When I found, yes.
You could go blind from
yes. I read about it. Is that true? No. It's not true.
It's not.
Okay.
Because I was going to say I should have been blind a long time ago.
Let me drop some knowledge on you real quick.
I was just playing.
But
Hey, what's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, E Digger. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from the...
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. ExposedRadio.com. Welcome to the Artist Exchange. I'm your host, Nate Couser. And my co-host is here, Mr. Hullywood. We also have a special guest today, Mr. Myles. He'll be back shortly. He'll introduce himself. He's a young man. He goes to school in Virginia. And we've been talking on and off for a minute now, and just sharing information and helping to inspire each other to do and continue to do what it is that we like to do in this media arts driven world. So we'll get a little on that, but today is another hot topic day, so we'll be bringing up some headline stories and going over what we feel about it. But again, I am like family. You tell them what you do, but it doesn't really sink in. I guess it's gonna take another 3 years for them to probably get it. For starters, I am the only person who can hurt himself in his sleep. Like, I woke up this morning and my foot, it felt like the bone was like aching. So I must have like slammed my foot in the middle of the night. Like,
you got like a bed rail or something?
No, it's just my bed sits low, so I must have hit my foot on the floor.
Was you sleepwalking and kicked something?
No, I don't think I was sleepwalking. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, but it's like the top of my foot. It's not even like the whole foot itself. So yeah, I am that person. I'm that individual that can really damage himself in his sleep. I've done it several times before. Yeah. It's crazy, and I've done it. I like to sit out on my front steps sometimes because it's like my street is not really busy, but it's like a almost main street. So I'll sit outside, and it was cool one night, and I was really tired. So I was like, I'm gonna sit here, and then I found myself dozing off, and it's still Baltimore City. I don't care where you live at. And so I was like, let me go upstairs. But I was very asleep, and I got to the top of my steps. And I don't know why my foot was back so far, but I slammed my foot into the steps, and it woke me up. That's how hard my foot hit the steps. Worst experience ever. So I do crazy stuff when I'm asleep.
Sensitive, you can hit your big toe. Definitely you can hit your pinky toe. You're going to be
holding
in them words unless nobody's around.
I don't. Well, my neighbor that day was woke up because I didn't care. It hurt. But yeah, I woke up this morning and it just was hurting. And it's probably because I've been wearing sandals the last week or so, and then I must have hit my foot because I wasn't in pain when I went to sleep. So this is crazy. So I don't want to have to go to the emergency room, but I think.
You go to the emergency room for a little bruise?
No, it's not a bruise. It really hurts, sir. I'm not like savage like you, so I'm not just going to let my foot heal crazy. It's still your foot. You got to get attended to. Right. So, no, like, that's what my insurance is for. Go to the emergency room.
True.
Black people just, no. That's why we heal and legs are crooked and bones aren't straight. And, like, no, just go to the doctor and get done what you need to get done. Black people, I tell you. But, so today, like I said, it's another day of Hot Topics. We have, I wanted to bring up the Trevor Noah story, his calling out of the NRA. And Kwame of Center Stage, he's been in Baltimore for like the past 7 years or so, and he's brought a lot of diversity to the acting world and the theater world of Baltimore City. So I wanted to acknowledge him and give him a shout out because he's been very instrumental in bringing more diversity into that world and doing more plays with more diversity within the cast, as well as utilizing the actors from Baltimore. I sent out a message this morning. I try to post something creative just to get people talking and get their gears moving, and it's really for me. But I posted a thread this morning on who's your favorite Baltimore actor, and I didn't think a lot of people was going to respond, but people have responded. So just a quick shout out to all the actors, and we were up really late. Well, I actually posted it last night. That's how I know my foot wasn't hurting, because I was up really late. So I don't know what happened, but I So what the hell is this stuff on my page? But so I posted the question, who is your favorite actor in Baltimore? And we got an overwhelming, first of all, Robert Lee Hardy is leading the pack at this moment as the favorite actor. Him and Robert Chew and who else is on the list? And these aren't just black actors, they are actors in general. Tiara Ferguson,
Pick it up there?
Yeah, Jada Pinkett is up here a lot, actually. But not as much as Robert Hardy.
What about Monique?
Monique's on here. Tupac's on here.
Tupac's actually from New York.
Dawn Ursula. You said what?
Tupac's from New York, though.
But he was raised in Baltimore.
But he's still from New York.
But he was raised in Baltimore.
I understand that, but you said Baltimore, like, okay.
But
I ain't gonna even, alright. Yeah. Yada yada, tomato, tomato.
right, his mother was born in New York and probably raised in New York, but they lived.
Check his
Yeah.
bio. He was actually in New York.
Yeah, but when you're raised somewhere, that's really
Yes,
really
when
what
you're
counts.
raised, but if you're born in New York and you're literally from New York and you're raised in Baltimore.
Yeah, so
From
that's
New
what
York,
it
raised
is.
in Baltimore.
But you can't really take credit for being somewhere if you were raised somewhere. I hate when people do that, but you were raised here, so what's the difference? This man right here, he's so international. But Monique, Nancy Barrett, a lot of people were a little arrogant and they named themselves, but it's cool. It's cool. Self-confidence is a necessary thing.
What about the guy, he played in, from way back in the show Rock?
Yeah, Charles Dutton. Yeah, someone named him. He's on here. I'm not a big fan anymore. I've got to work with him, and he don't know his lines. So
Okay, what about?
I'm just saying, you put on a one-man show, I'm gonna need for you to know your lines, and I have them written on the table. But I'm sorry, Charles Dutton, if you possibly listening.
I remember when I was doing the stage play, and I ain't know the last chapter, I had one of my friends sitting behind the couch reading the lines to me, feeding the lines. What?
See, that's disrespectful. Now I'm not judging anybody because I have lost lines, but I've never gone into a production and not knowing my lines. I may have forgotten them.
No, see, this was my first time acting ever in stage.
Yeah, don't ever do that again.
Oh, I will never. They didn't see.
I would fire you.
But they didn't know.
I would fire you and get the script and go on stage and do your part.
At that time, I probably wouldn't have cared if you fired me because I was more focused on martial arts anyway. I was just giving it a shot.
I would have fired you, sir.
I was like, fine, I'm going right back to teaching.
Out of control. Speaking of teaching, this Monday we will be starting the Maya Baraka Writing Institute. That sounds like a lot for a summer program, but it's actually a very rewarding program where we teach them writing in terms of our trade, our background. So there's a hip-hop class, there's a poetry class, there's a production class, and I am the theater instructor. So shout out to the Do More Poets team for welcoming me on as their theater instructor. So Monday, 9 o'clock, Brokefoot and all, we'll have 60 students to start the summer program with. And it's actually an awesome program. YouthWorks, me. Okay, not the second segment, but YouthWorks allows young people to work for the summer. So they give them work opportunities, and I think if you two guys have done YouthWorks.
Yes.
Have done YouthWorks. What I remember YouthWorks was it wasn't what they have today. So they really focus on teaching them valuable skills. So during the program, at some point, we have to show them like interviewing skills and so forth. And it's crazy because we're actually, so technically they're getting paid to be artists this summer. So they're performing, they're writing, they're creating production, and it's run and driven by them, and we kind of like become the puppeteers almost. But it's definitely a awesome experience to show young people that you can get paid to be an artist. Right. All of us in this group, all the instructors and our director, we're all artists that get paid to be artists. We're teaching. So this is a way that you can earn money to be an artist by actually teaching what it is that you know and instructing other people and the methods of what your madness is. So they instruct you on ways to, it's basically an internship. Mm-hmm. So you're showing them how to be artists and workable in our program. That's
it's like happening. Getting them ready for the field in a way.
Introducing them more.
Okay.
They don't necessarily have to do it, but a lot of the skills that we're teaching them, can translate into anything you want. But that's the arts in general. Like it's foundation building in what you want to be and what you want to do. So that's going to be an interesting process. And I remember doing this once before, and it took them maybe a couple weeks to realize that they were getting paid to be artists. I don't think they connected that. They thought they was coming to a summer camp and gonna be like taking field trips and eating boxed lunches. And I think they thought that that's because they probably checked that that's what they want to do, summer camp. Right. I think that's what they checked.
Right.
But it's it's a weird experience watching them. So where are the children at? Well, you are the children. So you are the employee this summer, and you're getting paid to be an artist. So this is what we have planned for you to do. So it only takes them a couple weeks to figure that out and get the attitudes out of the way, because that's not what I signed up for. I ain't signed. Even the ones that want to be artists, I don't think they know that you can get paid to do it at that age. Like they see people, but where they are compared to where they see people like on TV.
I'm gonna say, look how old they are. They got kids in Disney movies. Like it's possible, so you know you can get paid.
Yeah, but you know if that's not where you are,
right?
Like you're not at that point. You know those children have been there, but they're not at that point where they're auditioning for stuff. Hopefully,
they're working their way to that point.
Done it. Yeah,
I got
outside
you.
of doing school plays and stuff like that, but you ain't getting paid for that. It's cookies and juice at that point.
Just a resume builder, really.
Yeah. So that's we're jump starting their resume in that world. Whether they want to be a spoken word artist, a writer, a poet, an actor, or on the production team, and they're actually doing the event planning and putting together the programming for the.
Do they offer music as well?
Hip hop would be the music.
Mm-hmm.
So he's teaching them how to write bars and how the different genres of rapping and hip hop. The culture of it. So music is a part of that. So
well, make me come sit in one of those classes. Like, make me come sit in one of those classes. Well, hold up, bars. I got bars.
So his Black Chakra, he's a spoken word artist. He's the hip hop instructor. Slangston Hughes.
Did you say Slangston?
Yeah, that's his name, Slangston Hughes. He'll be doing the poetry. Lady Breon, she's doing the production.
That's
and I'll be doing the theater. So and they are part of the adult poetry slam team of Baltimore.
Oh yeah, number one.
They've won like 2 huge national poetry slams recently. The Southern Friars Poetry Slam, they just won that, the adult team, and then they're connected to Do More Poets. So
it's a team, so when they go out and do the poetry, is it like a tag team thing, or
they have different individual groups, collabs, so they have different components to it. But we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back here with the Hullywood Entertainment Report.
Oh yeah, about that.
So we'll be back with the Hullywood Entertainment Report. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go nowhere.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. So, since we're talking about the book, can you give people a synopsis of what the book is and what's the name of the book again, and then what it's about?
The name of the book is From Trial to Afflictions. More than one, because there were more than one afflictions.
Yes.
The book is talking about, actually, it's my life story. And I have to add in there that when that prophet told me, he said, tell your story, write the story. He said, and God said, tell your addiction. Now, see, I'm not going to tell the addiction because you have to get the book to read it. But it was about deliverance. It was about all the, trials and tribulations we go through, people that come into our life, even people that come to try and break you down or draw you down so that you can't stand for God or worship Him through your situation, because that's the adversary using them. We have to know that. But through it all, I was still praying and fasting. I needed help from God. I really did. I needed help from God to see me through. And for anyone that's going through, I say that this book is about different afflictions.
Yes.
Going through them, how you get through them. And I had a sister pushing me too, praying for me. I thank God for that again.
Yes.
But it also talks about deliverance. There is deliverance in the process.
Yes.
And you have to be willing to see yourself first to know that you need deliverance.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. This is your co-host, Hollywood. We have your host here, Nate, and our special guest, Myles. What's going on? I'm here with the Hollywood Report. Well, anyway, a lot of people probably don't remember, but I was doing some research and I was looking up. If y'all know who Camille DeVille.
Do you know who she is?
Yeah, I just let you know that name that's hard to pronounce real quick.
Okay,
it's just like that. Kiammi.
Where would we know her from?
Well, she's actually, if y'all remember the childhood movie Matilda, she's the actually girl that played Lavender. And to anybody out there in LA, she's going to be actually hosting doing a meet and greet and a photo sign in Studio City, California at the Zen Lounge. And it's just pretty much to bring just like influencers, and it's for a charity to bring everyone together so they can pretty much network and just help people out and let them know what's going on. And also, she's getting ready to do her reality show, and it's called Still Got It. So that's actually is going to be going on today. So if you're out there in LA today, please stop by. And also, she talks a lot about motivation and lifting people up, and like she's spiritual and whatnot. And she had posted something like she said she learned in her worship center, and she said, it says, "Free yourself, forgive and forget, as God is graciously as my fault. Let's start over. Free yourself, forgive and forget, as God has graciously done for us. Feed your enemies and quench their thirst. Why? Because you can't get to the next level if you don't." Yeah, I'll let that sit with y'all for a second.
Okay. Just let it marinate.
just let it sit in there and marinate. Well, on the other note, besides that, everybody know who Raven-Symoné is and whatnot. And she's actually coming back to me. I'm going to say out of hiding. She's been hiding for 11 years. She's coming out with a new show on Disney called Raven's Home. She's actually playing a single mother. and she has 2 twin boys, and she's still talking about how she can see into the future and see in reality. And she's also moving in with a roommate, which they also have kids, and it's just a whole discombobulation. It was funny from watching the trailer and whatnot.
Guess it's a reboot of her Raven.
Yeah, it's like a
Raven.
sequel. But my personal opinion, I'm like, okay, you going back to Disney? I can understand. I'm thinking it's probably just for a money move. But I'm like,
I mean, it is. I mean, all these other shows are rebooting.
Yeah.
What's the I was gonna say Growing Pains, but the other there's a couple different shows that are like coming back.
Right.
With the adult cast.
Right. Because I looked at her, she kind of chunky now, but she looked like Gina from Martin, Tisha Campbell from in this show, and I was like, wow. Like,
you're so disrespectful, son.
I'm sorry, Tisha Campbell and Raven Simone. You can reach out to her. I'm sorry. Hey, Raven. Hey.
He likes you though, Raven.
I know you don't like me though. So
you don't know that.
It's like no, but yeah, congratulations to you that on that show coming out. Well, actually, it shows July 21st, I believe. No, 24th. Today. So yeah,
watch that. Probably now.
They were like probably there, but that's what's been going on as far as entertainment news, and we'll be right back with you after this commercial break.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. I could have swore he died, like in one of those books, like a fairy tale book. Trump, we'll get to you in a moment. Meet with all these black folk in one room, and they just fell for it. Like, he must have been giving out $100 bills behind that.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Be Exposed.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that. And the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet, fingerling, Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I am live in the studio on this 24th day of June. This year has gone by really fast. I'm just going to let you know that. Time is fleeting, so catch up to it. But joining me in Hullywood in the studio today is Mr. Myles Banks.
What's going on?
I met him like last year.
Yeah.
We reached out last year and we've been talking back and forth on how to work. So he actually came back to the city and he's here to talk and network and do what it is. So let the listeners know who you are, what you do, all that jazz.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Myles Banks, originally from Baltimore. I go to school in the Eastern Shore right now. I'm a senior, graduating in December.
Party town.
I be chilling, man. I mostly focused on my
That's
work.
what he said. That's because his mom probably listening right now. Yeah, I just be chilling. I just be chilling.
I'm trying to focus on getting it, man. But yeah, I have my own video production company, Just Done Productions, and I'm just trying to inspire people and show people that no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, you can still be successful.
Hey. That's what's up. What is your major at Eastern Shore?
I'm a business major.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you want to focus in as far as, is it more marketing and branding or promotion? Like where are you at with the business and connecting with the media?
Right now I'm focused on marketing, but I'm kind of do a little bit of everything right now. Being kind of like a startup on my own, you kind of got to learn every role. So
Right.
I'm just working it so I can get some more help.
What has been the hard part about working within this field? Because it could be really cliquey at times, and you know people only want to support you once you at the top 10%.
I think the most important thing is like dedication. to yourself and to what you want to do. Like, you can't just do it because other people want to see it. You got to do it because you're passionate about it. Number one. After that, after you find your passion and you do what you love, then that's when you help people out.
When did you know this is what you wanted to do? I
realized this is actually I got a short story for you. So when I was a freshman at UMES, I was in this dorm, and I used to have a friend. He was like down a few doors down. I used to go to his room. He used to make music.
Okay.
So when I used to go to his room, he'd be like, I got this idea in my head, and he was like, man, I'm about to make this beat. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and watch him make the beat. So he's like clicking different sounds on like studio, what is it, FL Studios or whatever.
FL Studio, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He was making beats. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. If he can come up with that just like that, I can do the same thing. So at the time, I was into like motorcycles and vlogging and basically like
two totally different. Okay.
Yeah, man. But I took the inspiration and I brought it.
He's a renegade.
I brought it there. So I had a motorcycle at the time. I was focusing on building up and just basically doing my own thing. And so I got a camera, started vlogging, and after that,
on the motorcycle.
You're
crazy, sir.
Hey,
was that a GoPro?
It was a passion, man. It was actually, I think it was like a drift or something like that.
You had a mount?
But similar to like a GoPro, yeah.
Okay, as long as you had a mount, like you over here riding, like, you know what I'm saying?
It was like on a helmet for real.
Okay,
but,
I got you.
After I did that, I was like, man, I could really inspire people off of this because like, if I can do this, other people can do it too. They just need to figure out how to do it. So I figured I'd coach people and tell people, you know, like, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you can be successful. Because if I can do it, you can do it too.
So on the vlogging media side of it, you're doing more interviews now. How did you get into doing the actual interviews?
I just I saw.
And what's the name? Is it a show name or?
Motivational Monday.
Okay.
That's what we started. I think about 8 months ago. We started that, and it's basically just an inspirational message every Monday, just to give to people. And just inspire people.
Because you used to just do something on Mondays as far as your blog entry, but now you're interviewing a person along with that.
It just depends on the week. Like sometimes I'll occasionally interview people, just influential people that want to make some changes, that's trying to do positive things, and just give them a spotlight so they can have a platform to just say, this is what I do, this is what I'm trying to do. You know, if you support them, you support them.
Why is that important for you?
I feel like it's not just about me. Like, it's cool to become successful and do what you want to do, but it's more important to like take people with you so that they can do the same thing for other people.
Right. And it's the showing aspect. Reach one, teach one, and we all need each other. And that's a conversation that I have a lot on here. A lot of people try to cut people off, so they're the only one reaching the finish line. But how great would it be if everybody came, or if everybody, and you can't bring everybody, but you can definitely give people the tools to get to that finish line on their own or with their own projects. But we have this real cutthroat mentality that only one person can make it. Everybody can't get to the finish line. Yes, they can. If you just focus on your lane
and be consistent,
focus on that. You know, I'm always reminded of this meme that I saw where it's two swimmers, they're in this race, and the one swimmer is like going and there's ahead, and then the swimmer in the next lane is looking at that swimmer, but he's behind. And if it tells you, if you just focus on what it is that you're here to do, you go win. You go finish.
Right.
But if you focus on what the next person is doing in their own separate lane, you're always going to be behind and trying to catch up, because that person is actually doing the work, and you're just trying to figure out what they're doing and how they're doing.
How's he moving his hands to get that fast? I mean,
I think that's one of the problems with social media too, man. Everybody can be it's easy to get consumed in what other people are doing.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta take a break.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta take a break and just focus on, hey, how can I get better? What can I do to take it to the next level?
Were you a part of that? Were you finding yourself focusing on how somebody else gets? So how did Steve Harvey get to where Steve Harvey was?
Well, to tell the truth, I mean, I think we all have role models and people we look up to. So I try to set time every week to see how I can improve and look at what other people do to improve. But at the same time, I can't stay too focused on it because I'll never get anything done myself.
Right. So how are you paving your lane? So what is your journey and your path looking like right now?
Man, it's looking great. I'm just networking, trying to take things to the next level, trying to build a team, and just get things official. You know, because we've been doing a lot of stuff like kind of like out of the car. You know what I mean? To speak as far as like doing things just because working with what we got. But now we're trying to make things more professional.
I tell you, don't look at it where it's official or not. However you look at it is how you look at it. But in my opinion and from my point of view, do what it is that you do with what you have and grow with that. As long as you're growing, that shows promise. But, you know, look how many reality shows now, professional ones with real celebrities on it, and they're in their car. Yeah. Something as basic. So they're seeing what young people like you are doing, and individuals like yourself are doing, and they're putting money into it and making it look super polished. But continue to do what it is that you do, and it'll get you to where you are. But as black people, we try to have all the bells and whistles in the process instead of being in the journey. Sometimes your venue isn't always going to look the best, but if you just if you start small and just work your way up. But we want the Ritz-Carlton first time out the gate, and nothing less than that. 5-star. But they had to start from somewhere. That didn't start like that. You know, it was probably a little hole in the wall bed and breakfast at some point that grew to that. But we don't see that journey. And right now, when you're in it, you find yourself trying to put money into stuff that it doesn't matter. Buy the really nice camera. Learn what it is that you're doing and start from that point. And as you get more business, you invest in more and more equipment and state of the art. But start somewhere, like learning how to take a picture. You know, before you go spend $5,000 on a camera. If you have it, do it, and then learn that. But you still have to start from somewhere. But I think we in our culture we want to make sure everything looks the best. You know. But you have to start from somewhere. You're right. You know, and sometimes you're not an official business because you're still learning the business of what you want to do, or learning the craft or the talent of what you're doing. So it's all in where your goals are and your intentions are, but just start from somewhere. Learning is a good starting point.
Take that first step, man.
Right. Jump. That's what I say. Jump.
So where do you see yourself in the next couple years?
Man, taking over.
Taking over.
That's
so what does your brand look like?
It looks like something way more expensive than what it is. And I don't mean that like in a material sense, but the quality is going to be amazing. Like it's going to be compared to people that's been doing it for years and years and years and years. Just because I know that in my heart, in my mind, that you know, that's what I'm striving for, to be the best. Not to just do it just to do it. You know, I got to do it and put everything into it.
So this sounds crazy, but what are you doing?
What am I doing right now? As far as like
so what is your brand? What is Myles Banks? Who is Myles Banks?
Man, I got a lot of hats.
What do you do?
Got a lot of hats, man. But I would say I'm a motivational speaker. I'm an artist, videographer. I kind of DJ a little bit too. So I like to just do things that make me happy, man. But as far as like in the business world, I'm mostly focused on like video production and speaking and trying to relay that positive message to the world.
So how are you practicing that? How are you sharpening that tool?
Man, you got to be around people that do what you want to do. Like I try to surround myself around individuals that are doing that have been there and done that, and some people that are also trying to come up too. So kind of have that balance. But just hanging around good people, create networks, and just trying to push towards positivity. So I try to stay away from the negative energy, you know, in the world.
How do you do that?
Just every day, man. I wake up and I thank God, and I just try to make a checklist of what I want to accomplish in that day. You know, working, doing my thing with video production, a few gigs here and there, but I'm trying to build my resume and my clients and my talent. So a bit of everything, man, to put it in a nutshell. A bit of everything, but mostly just trying to gear towards taking video production to the next level.
For your video production, what kind of camera do you use?
Currently, I use a what is it called? A Panasonic.
Okay.
G7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what are you guys talking
Hey,
about. You lost me.
Did you check out the? Did you see the new GH5 that came out?
I did see that.
What you think about that, man?
It's cool. I mean, when I was comparing it, when I got my camera, I was noticing it's not too much different from it. The two, they're pretty much the same thing, except the GH5 I think is a little bit more higher quality.
High quality. Shoots 5K, I believe. Shoots 5K
it's
also.
4K.
I think it's 5K.
It's
I believe
5K?
It's 5K. 4K and 5K, I believe.
Okay.
And also comes with its own slow motion and everything like that. And it's like with the green screen on the thing. Like it's a whole bunch of setups. It's a lot to learn about that thing.
It's interesting how, man, like you would think like 10 years ago, it's like, man, the quality of what we had back then. But now it's like, man, it's so easy to really do what you want to do. It's like everything is so accessible.
Right.
You have people creating albums from their phone apps.
Yeah.
So anything is possible. So how do you stay up to date? Because everything y'all just is talking about, clearly that's not my mission and my ministry. But how do you stay up to date with trends, or are you following trends, or are you trying to create your own? Like, what's the balance for you?
Well, I will say I look at what's going on, but a lot of times what's popular isn't really who I am as a person, because a lot of times the popular stuff is like the worldly stuff and the stuff that you don't really need to get into, but it's just what everybody's doing. So I try to set my own trend, man. Set my own wave, ride my own wave, and make my own lane.
How do you keep yourself from being a follower?
Stay focused on what I'm doing and just try to stay to myself and my ideas, as far as like not really like spending more time with myself than with other people. So that way I can focus on where I'm going, rather than seeing what's going on.
And that's hard to do at an Eastern Shore, because it's such an isolated spot.
Yeah.
So what else are you going to do if you're not traveling off the campus somewhere?
Right.
But how do you maintain that focus? And you know, Eastern Shore gets a bad rep, and I know it's gotten a lot better. And the school has put a lot of sanctions on things, so it doesn't get out of hand. But how do you maintain that focus without like driving yourself crazy, like sitting in that dorm room all the time?
It's not easy, man. But you gotta, first of all, like one thing I'll say to you is like you gotta have a faith in something. Everybody should believe in something. If it's God or Buddha, whatever you believe in, you gotta believe in something, and you gotta be dedicated to that. Me personally, I believe in Jesus. But I just feel like you gotta have something that you believe in. You stay focused, and you gotta recognize that it's bigger than you. It's not just about you. It's a bigger purpose. So it's like finding your lane and what you're supposed to do while you're here on earth, while you have the time that you have, and pushing towards that so that you can be all that you can be while you're here.
So the Myles that you are today, when did that start for you? When did that become, as far as the artist, as far as the business-minded young man, when did that start or shift for you?
I think probably around 19, like I said earlier, when I started.
You're like 12, so.
I'm 23.
Trying to get
but around 19, when I saw, like I said, my friend making music, I wanted to do that. And then I started it. Just, I'm the type of person that if I see something, I have the self-confidence in myself that I know I can do it if I put my mind to it. So having that confidence, being raised, you know, and being in that environment, that peaceful and positive environment where, yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. Go out and make it happen. You know, just being around those type of people helped me to develop into who I am right now.
So, in a lot of our talks, we were talking about building a team and networking. What are you looking for? Because at some point, and probably very soon, the team is going to be necessary. I'm telling you, it helps and is necessary to sustain your life.
Definitely.
Because you're trying to do so many different things, but you're still a student. But you're still a friend, a family member. So building a team, so every job isn't on your shoulders. How are you looking into building that team, or who are you looking for to collaborate?
Man, I'm looking for people that are positive, that want to be successful. I don't want people around me that are like that they want me to just take them to the next level. I want you to come with something that you can do that builds the brand. You know what I mean? Just like you said earlier, you don't want people around you to just loafing off of you, that they want a free ride. You know what I mean? You got to work. This is real life. This is not a game. So I need people around me that's dedicated, almost as dedicated as I am. If not more.
And some people are looking for a free ride, but some people they want to support you, but they want to see that you're serious about it, and so they sit and wait and wait and wait. To that young person that's kind of in that transitional period of just being a kid and having focus, what advice would you give to them in pursuing things that they really want to do versus what someone is telling them to do?
You got to be passionate, man. You got to find what you love. Forget what the world tells you to do. Find what you love and go after that.
That's what's up.
Right.
That's a great way to end this segment. So we'll take a quick break, pay some bills. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Next up, we'll be speaking on that Trevor Noah situation, him calling out the NRA. So stay tuned, stay locked in. We'll be right back.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty about Jennifer Holliday.
Anyway, let's get back to
yeah. Well, what I wanted to say is that I can understand 100% where Jennifer Holliday is coming from, and that's sort of kind of where my 20% came from. When I basically came out and said who I voted for, I received a lot of backlash. Even on my own talk show, which comes on every Monday from 5 to 7 p.m., I was called a coon. Okay, yeah, shout out for the plug. But yeah, someone actually, they told CJ Bernie that I was a coon, and that really hurt me. I've been called everything from a fat whatever and everything, but someone actually commented on his Facebook
I didn't even say that. That's kind of
called me a coon, but it's it's crazy because I just feel like someone like Jennifer Holliday. I understand why she stepped down, but I'm kind of upset with her because I think she still should have performed. If you're gonna jump out there, then stand in your truth. Don't let no one stop you or change your mind about anything. And listen, no one put a gun to her head and made her sign on for that. But it just seems like, she was basically, she was bullied.
But see, the thing about it is they will put a gun to her head to not do it.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what the threat says. You got to tell it's why it's called a threat. You don't know the hypotheticals in there that could happen to you.
Why do you think
she's not a well-known singer, so she's not going around with security. Then she goes to get her tracks at the mall.
Right.
Pow.
Right, but at the same time,
we got a whole bunch of dead cats.
Yeah, but like what she said in the footage, today on The View was basically it's not white people who was threatening her. It was us who was threatening her.
Right. Where do you think she live? I think she live in Atlanta.
Exactly.
They gonna get her at the Ku Klux Klan mall and drag her by her hair. Her hair made a cat. She got the new weave.
I don't have Jennifer Holliday money, honey.
Yeah,
I don't know what it might be because it's. I don't got Jennifer Holliday money, but me personally, I feel as though like I said, once I kind of came out, and even being on this show, because I'm pretty sure the headline says Trump supporter, I'm putting a lot of myself out there. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
If you had a dream venue, where would that be? Like, some people want to do Carnegie Hall or like a big stadium somewhere.
I want to go with Madison Square. I wanna feel that building.
You just gonna shoot for the moon.
I want to feel it. I want to look out and just feel the vibration of all.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I'm your host, Nate. I have my co-host, Mr. Hullywood.
How y'all doing out there?
And joining us for the first time, Mr. Myles Banks.
What's going on?
He's up here for the weekend, just chilling and networking and getting involved. So today is Hot Topics. We'll get to know Myles a little bit more. Hopefully he'll come back. We don't know. I don't know. He's busy. He's Mr. Star, so we don't know. But we like to do shows where we not only introduce guests and help them promote themselves, but just pick out random stories that mean a lot to me and stuff that stuck out to me in the last week. So we did 2 back-to-back shows on Hot Topics, and this is the second one. So the first story for the day is Trevor Noah. You know him for being the new host of Comedy Central, The Daily Show. Comedy Central's The Daily Show. And he has an interesting background in that he came from Africa. So he was raised in the apartheid, where he was actually illegal, being a young mixed race young man. So he has a very interesting perspective in coming to the United States and speaking on injustice. Like, nobody can question him. Who he is as a person just 20 years ago was illegal. So that says a lot about his commentary and his remarks and his perspective. But he spoke on the Philando Castile's acquittal, the acquittal of the officer in that story. And Trevor, he started out by asking, how does a black person not get shot in America? And it's a jarring statement. It's a very in-your-face remark. And he started his show Monday with, his normal joking banter back and forth. But he got really serious when it came to this. And his remarks were against the NRA, the National Rifle Association. This organization has fought, paid off, and done everything in their power to keep guns in the hands of the American citizens. In their efforts to do so, they have spoken out against any legislation that bans or restricts the usage of guns in general. Recently, the semi-automatic is one of the ones that they've been trying to get eliminated. Certain individuals and groups and organizations have been trying to get that off the streets and banned from being sold to everyday citizens. What do you need this for? Anything that you shoot with that is going to be decimated. It's going to be destroyed.
How the world is today. Look what's going. Anybody could break in your house and kill your whole family at any point in time.
Right.
I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but why not have it?
Right. So this situation is different because we can't ban police officers from using guns, even though in other countries.
In London, they use nightsticks.
Right.
Biggest crime is probably gets a stab victim.
And I think Australia too has those types of laws, but this case was different in that the young man, Philando, was a card. I don't know if he was registered with the NRA, but his gun was concealed and he had a license to carry a concealed weapon.
Right.
And part of the rules in that licensing is whenever you are stopped by a police officer, you have to disclose that you do have a concealed weapon. You have to carry around your car, your license, and he did that.
Yeah, you're supposed to everything.
On record, on the dash cam from the officer, as well as the camera from his girlfriend. I can't remember.
That's when he was in the car and he was telling him to get out the car because he told me he had a gun in the car.
Right. And his girlfriend was filming it the whole time. They just released the dash cam, which doesn't tell us anything, different than what we saw from her actual camera. And the issue with this was he followed proper protocol.
Right.
The officer claim was, and one of the reasons why he was acquitted was because he feared for his life. And he kept telling him, don't reach for your gun or something of that nature. Like, you can hear him saying,
don't reach for your gun.
Don't reach for it. And he said, I was just grabbing my license, and he asked him for his registration, and he was going to show him his license to carry the weapon. And he shot him 4 or 5 times.
See, and that's what I don't get, though. They ask you for your license and registration, and you do go reach for it, and that's when they over here trying to shoot you. Like, bro, but you can't say it now, but you asking me to actually move my hands to where you can't see them to go reach for something in my back pocket. Why shoot me?
And you can see in his girl, and I hope and figure out what her name is, because I don't want to keep calling her his girlfriend, but she did an awesome job of maintaining her calmness in that situation and filming it. I don't know if the officer knew he was being filmed at the time, but despite that, we still see the dash cam, and we can still hear what's going on partially in the car. But the problem with this is, and what Noah brought up is, where's the NRA in this situation?
Right.
Because this is a case that represents what they deal with. And before we start responding, we're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to actually continue this story in the next segments. So don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. Now, here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I am saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details of how what happened. No, the fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. They deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle.
Yeah!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning.
Clean water.
Woohoo! This is great.
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing.
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner... You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So this case, if you don't know, Philando Castile was a young man that got pulled over because his taillights were out. Now, because his taillights were out, the officer stopped him. So that was the initial reason. When the officer came to the car, he told him, Philando disclosed to him that I have a concealed weapon, I have a license for it. At that point, the officer was already agitated. You can tell he was already agitated. But once he said that, it went to another extreme level. And he began to be really, you can tell how irate he was becoming with the young man after asking him for his license and registration and his card. Right. So he was trying to give it to him, and in the process of him reaching for it, he shot into his shoulder 4 or 5 times. It said it was 7 times, but now they're saying 4 or 5 times. You see this happen in front of you. His girlfriend is videotaping it on her phone. While we didn't even know about the dash. Well, we knew about the dash cam, but it had not been released now until the officer was acquitted. So this is when you see the dash cam, but it doesn't show you. It's just a different perspective. You can still hear the conversation.
Right, and then they get upset when we start fighting back because we tired of cops just killing us and dropping us for no reason, and they getting acquitted and not even getting no punishment for their actions.
And this is more of a slap in the face because before there were no cameras, so it was he say, she say.
Right.
You know,
So
but
even
you
with cameras-
physically see the video of it. And this was Trevor Noah's. If you watch the clip of, if you haven't seen it, you know, if you can't take it, I wouldn't watch it. But watch the Philando murder, so to speak, and his daughter was in the back seat. So the angle that the police officer shot him, the bullet could have went through him and hit his daughter.
Right.
So that was the scary part. What we do see in the dash cam video is the officer instructing another officer to get the young girl out of the car.
Right.
Like, he has that sense, but he realized how on 5,000 he is in this moment.
Right.
And he can't even come down in that moment.
He wasn't even professional.
He shot, when you see it, it's sad because he shot repeatedly, rapid fire, into this man's shoulder. And you see him, you can see his breathing slowing down. That's how graphic it is. That's how on point her camera was in showing it,
Right.
which is horrendous. You don't see all of that in the dash cam because the car is behind it.
Right.
But her video is, I don't even know how the officer didn't see her with her camera.
And that's sad, because that's just sad that these officers are doing that too.
Mhm.
But like I said though, like watch what happens when people start getting tired.
And that's what I'm afraid of.
Right, when people start getting tired, and then that's when they gonna try. Oh, we gonna call, what is that thing we call, the whole state of emergency? Or,
Right.
State of emergency.
In my remarks yesterday to the question that I made about Black lives versus all lives, that is my fear for the relatives in my family that look white, look completely white.
Right.
That's my fear. When people get sick and tired, we're gonna have to hide those family members or those, and it's gonna get to that point because people are gonna get tired, and the protesters are getting younger and younger, and the older citizens, the older members of our culture, are detaching themselves from the protest and the activism side of it. So there's no leadership amongst these young people that are just angry.
It's gonna be loose cannons, and it's gonna be like how they rioted in Baltimore. I mean, even though it was stupid, but still, some people was angry. But that's exactly what's gonna happen.
You just get fed up.
Start shooting cops, and people just gonna start killing them and killing them. Like, man, Bob, this. Anytime a cop pull over, they gonna probably run or just peel off on the road. And you're like, man, forget this. I'm not going to be another victim. And so people are more not even afraid. People are just more afraid of being a victim. They don't even care what they get. They can, like you say, you can get pulled over for a tail light, but people are still going to be more afraid just because they believe they're going to be a victim of the next shooting from a cop, and it shouldn't be that way because cops should be able to do their job and handle it properly. And if they can't do that, they shouldn't have been a cop in the first place.
So, Myles, speak to your perspective in this. Where do you see this going? How do you see this changing or not, or getting worse or not?
Man, I don't think it's looking good, man. Because it's like it seems like to me every time I don't even like watch the news, but I'm always hearing something like about somebody getting shot, somebody getting messed up over something that was so minuscule, and it's so crazy because it's just like, man, this world, it's just like, why can't people just get along with each other? Why does it have to be such resistance between two different people?
Right.
And it's just like everybody wants a happy life, everybody wants to live happy and be themselves and do what they want to do, and and just be happy and live their lives. But it seems like there's always an opposing force that wants to like create some havoc,
right?
Whether it be cops and citizens or like blacks and whites or whatever the force is. It's like there's always something that stop you.
Evil will always be present.
Yeah, like Superman, and like a villain. You know, it's always something. And it's sad.
It is crazy because the argument of he hasn't made an official statement yet, the officer in this, but part of the argument was he did what he was fearful of his life. I did a play like last year or so, and it was called Force Continuum. That is the order of operation, and you've been a cop, so you can tell me if I'm saying it wrong, but the order of operation of, order of operation of force.
Right.
That you're supposed to take. So initially, you're talking to them.
Right.
And the deadly force is dead last.
That is the last. Like, you would have to go, you would pretty much talk to them. If that don't work, or they're getting more hostile.
Right.
You can tell them calm down. Then you got your mace, and then after that, you got your X-26 series
Right.
for a taser.
Right. Before the taser, like, you still have a baton. You still have...
baton can break. See, taser, yeah, you got your baton. I would bring, yeah, you got your baton, and then you got your taser, and then you have your weapon. But it also depends on your threat level too. How threatened do you feel?
Right. But your weapon is still not the last. It's still not the last step. But the firing of your weapon is still dead last.
Right.
It's not first. It's not second. It's not third. It is the last thing on this continuum force. If you can look that up for me, like it's
like the threat level.
It's a threat level
because like if a person have a knife.
But
like,
that's perceived threat level.
No,
that's
like,
still
right because like,
individually. What I'm saying the way it is now is individually
like,
perceived. It's not based on that. It's called the continuum force.
Right.
And if you look at it, you see the levels in which you're supposed to respond to, and you can't even call them a suspect. If you pulling somebody over because of a busted tail light, that is a ticket.
Right.
Possibly a ticket.
At max.
That's not a suspect at that point. Like, he hasn't done anything wrong outside of not repairing his tail light.
Right.
That's not a criminal offense.
Unless you come up to the car and you roll the window down and you smell marijuana come out the car, then you can go further than that. But besides that, it's just a ticket.
Right. Hopefully, like way worst case scenario is a ticket. Not somebody should not have walked away from a busted tail light with their life.
Yeah.
Without their life. That shouldn't that doesn't compute to me.
Right.
That's like me being ticketed or pulled over because I jaywalked and I die.
Right.
And in the meantime, like, how did that happen? What did I do to you to make you want to kill me because I jaywalked?
I think it's a sick thing, like in people's minds. Like, why would you? At the end of the day, it's like, if you shoot somebody that many times, it's like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, are you trying to kill somebody?
But he was already like at the top of his voice yelling at this point.
Right.
And he boom, 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 boom. You hear it back to back. You see the blood begin to pool at the pit of his arm.
It's crazy.
And he's like, it looks like he was trying to turn away. And it caught all of this.
Like, it depends, because if you're passing away and you're dying from gunshot wounds, your body normally is going to lock up on you, and your hands will start to curl. Never mind. I don't even want to get into it.
But at what point will we like do something about it? Like, what do we do? And the only thing that I can see happening is retaliation. Like, on a grand scale, that's the next beating step. Force with force, but then they're gonna come with more force.
Right.
And I believe, and see, like, when they come with more force, I believe the American people will come back with more force as well. I believe, like,
but you're not gonna win against force, like,
like that
with guns and like guns on top of guns on top of guns. They have artillery.
Yeah.
We may have guns and knives, but they have the force.
No, because I know, because in Baltimore, it's a lot of stuff people have that people, like, cops don't know, like RPGs, C4. They have a lot of artillery in
and this is why I feel like in this situation, the NRA needs to say something. They need to speak out on this, because this is not about, because this was an officer, a supposedly trained person at what they do with his gun, and because he didn't do what he was supposed to do with it.
He didn't follow proper protocol. He did not.
And now this is now pitting this whole Blue Lives Matter versus, the everyday citizen versus Black Lives. Like, so now we're being put together, and that's why people are so angry on both sides, because nobody is meeting in the middle and saying this was wrong, and this is why it was wrong.
And it makes you think, and say, the cop shot at him, he missed, and he shot back at the cop because he felt his life was threatened. He didn't do nothing wrong. Now, will he be in the wrong for shooting the cop back? Because now, like, I feel threatened by you, officer, because you just shot at me.
That's a good point.
For no apparent reason. I'm going something. Now you're trying to take my life, so I'm going to kill you.
But even in that situation, it's still not balanced, because he's in a confined place. His gun was probably in the trunk.
Right, but I'm just saying, though, like, just a general question, like, in that situation.
His assumption that his gun was like in his pocket or something.
If
Like
cops
that
start
is dumb
shooting
to
at
me.
and you know for sure you didn't do nothing wrong. This guy is trying to kill me for nothing. You told me to get my license. You start shooting. You miss, and I can reach my gun and shoot.
But the first thing they're going to say is
kill me.
You were something arrest. You were, what is it called? Resisting arrest. Then that becomes your resisting arrest.
You can't resist arrest if you're not charging me with nothing, or you're not locking me up.
That makes sense to you, right?
I know.
But these are the stories that we're getting back from the representative that speaks for these police departments. Resisting arrest. Well, I was never arrested. I was never read any rights.
I wasn't detained. You can't arrest me if you detained. You don't even have probable cause to lock me up. You had probable cause to pull me over and give me a ticket for my tail light, but for us locking me up, so I wouldn't consider that just an arrest. Now, since you're at a high rate already pulling me over, now I'm feeling threatened by you because you do have a gun on your side.
And now what is clear to me was he was the driver, because the way the video is structured, it looks like his girlfriend was the driver. But it was just probably her camera flipped the image around.
Right.
But for him to be the driver, and it doesn't make any sense. Like that's why it was unclear to me, because I was like, why is he shooting the passenger? But he was actually the driver of the vehicle. So you went to his side, you heard, and he wasn't being disrespectful, like, and neither was she. Like nobody was, and he just went to 1,000.
See, and that's
like
when
right
I
off
would
the
feel
bat.
threatened because of the officer. That's when I probably like, can you bring another officer or a sergeant? Because how are you acting? I feel threatened. And it's actually I forgot, but it was a case in that way where officers came to this guy and started asking him questions, and he said, "No, I don't feel like answering questions because technically you have a gun on your side, and I feel threatened for my life."
I think that was the private detective that was out working. And the officer came up to his vehicle, and he kept saying, "I want to see your superior." And the guy was very smug about it. Like they'll be very smug. I haven't been pulled over before, but I've been in a situation where someone with me was pulled over, or the cop was very. When you know your rights, they become very smug. And how dare you?
Right? How dare you use the law?
And it's funny because it's kind of like it's no different than when you go to you go to a Target, just for example. If you're not happy with the service that you're receiving from the cashier, you can tell the manager, say, I want to see the manager.
Right.
You can do the same thing. It's still customer service. They're serving us.
Right. We
are
like
they serve the public. They're public servants.
But see, and watch the, and I don't know why you didn't really pick that up on the videotape that his girlfriend made, but on the dash cam you can hear him like yelling for backup. But the way he's yelling as if the people are the problem. So when the other officers come, they're already on guard already. Right. So that's another set of guns.
Because he was a high rate and he made it seem as more than what it really was.
So when the officer, I guess that was his partner that came and got the young lady out. So he told the other young lady to get out of the car. So she gets out of the car. He tells her to put her hands up. It is very awkward. Like nobody in this situation was overreacting, but this one officer, and they were treating these individuals as if they were having an issue.
Now stuff like that, I believe that personally, I think it's something personally wrong with the officer. He must have had a bad day, and now he's bringing it to work, and now he's one that, what civilian can I take this out on? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what people don't know how to separate their personal life from work. You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with this story and more. Next up. I think I'm going to switch it around, and I'm going to do the cooning of Ray Lewis. So we'll be right back with the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Monty, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything. It's open to interpretation, but I'm going to put a spin on it with my flair of funny. And it all goes down right here on BeExposedRadio.com, and we on YouTube. So get ready. You should already be ready.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
So you're your biggest asset. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. Toxic, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Do yourself a favor and listen to this hilarious flashback on Charm City Direct Radio Show.
You know me. I eat like this all the time. Do I gain any weight? No, at all. You can have my belly right now. I'm giving away body parts. Somebody said they need a butt. Somebody said they need a butt.
I can use a little extra tissue there.
I can pop it. Right now.
He out here giving out butt cheek donations.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, the magical glow getter herself, Anissa Maureen, co-host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Catch me and the rest of my team every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. I am your host, Nate Couser. But I said not. It's not. But like I'm saying, I'm somebody.
It's
else.
okay. It's okay.
But the next story we're gonna touch on. Ray Lewis made a tweet about Colin Kaepernick, and his statement was, "Do you want to play football or do you want to be an activist?" And I guess this I should have did this yesterday, but it makes sense for today, because when people react to what's going on in their communities,
right,
we have this double standard when it comes to not just athletes or artists or celebrities, but people in general. Like, you're not supposed to say certain things, or you're supposed to feel a certain way. Realizing who Ray Lewis is in terms of what he's built himself to be, this doesn't sound off to me to hear that he said this, because he's all about the game. Like, he has no connection to anything. Like, he does some philanthropy, but it's really,
I think it's all just for show. Yeah.
It's not for show. That's,
I mean, he does it. He does it, but I'm just saying, it's like, I don't know, because he's just like, he's more for the camera.
Do you think Colin should focus more on getting back onto a team?
I think Colin
giving away all of his wealth at this point.
I don't know, because Colin Kaepernick. Because think about it, he's a football player. He's a quarterback. Also, he's been looked at.
Well, he's not right now.
Not no more. Well, he was looked at as a leader and whatnot, or for some people. And by him making a stand, it can probably help other people. Like, you know what? That's what people need to do. Like, start making stands for something, or stop just letting things just go past and just letting things happen. And if you start taking a stand for people, more people will start taking a stand. And by him being in that position, and by him doing that, like he said, whatever, he took the knee and whatnot. Okay, like they say so much about this United States or this Pledge of Allegiance, but yet they're not even standing on their own word of the Pledge of Allegiance. And how can you say a Pledge of Allegiance if y'all don't even adhere it yourself?
But nobody noticed the roaring support that he got when he was on a team. You don't hear that right now.
Right.
You don't hear the Colin Kaepernick.
And I believe it's because of the media, though. The media is just doing that to him. And people just going feeding off of the media and not really looking at the serious situation. Oh, because the media said this and said that. Oh, that's what we're going to go with.
I mean, the media is doing nothing but reporting. You cannot blame.
But media lies a lot.
The lack of support. Everybody lies. But you can't say the media is the reason.
Not the
for
media,
all this stuff.
but no,
going on.
but the media is a big serious outsource of it because people's going to listen to them and they can throw their own fumble or they can fumble their own words into it and switch it up and make it seem totally different.
Though. That's what he.
No, I know what Ray Lewis said. I'm just saying, just in general of the whole situation.
Yeah, but you can still blame media, and there are a lot of media outlets and sources out there that quote unquote fake news or sensationalize things. And
ABC, CBS.
I remember in me deciding if communications was a field that I wanted to go in, I really began to listen to radio because that's the field I wanted to go into. And I remember calling out like a VJ on 92Q once because he, on his social media, he wrote a report based on something he was about to talk about on his show. And I had an issue with it. I had an issue with how he titled it because it was very salacious.
Right.
And he himself has been, he remarked on Will Smith kissing his son. And he made it seem very incestual. And this person himself has been accused of being gay and being bashed on social media. And I was like, that's very irresponsible of you to displace what has happened to you onto somebody else. Because I felt like it was that. So I know media to be that. But we can't blame media for what is actually going on.
Right.
You know, we're not sensationalizing this cash steal story. Like, we see it happened.
Right.
So whatever they report on is based on what we all saw, and we can clearly see what happened.
So it seems like they're getting mad at Kaepernick because he's doing his First Amendment rights.
Well, this is Ray Lewis. I mean, overall, a lot of people support Kaepernick, but my point was that overwhelming support that he got before,
it's gone.
You don't hear it being said or posted, or the memes of how cute he is, or how they love him. You don't hear that anymore.
Super Bowls.
Now that he's not on the team, and that sticks out to me.
And it's crazy that, right? I agree.
But this man is giving away thousands upon thousands of dollars of his own personal money. Now he gonna get a tax write-off for this,
right?
Of course, but he's not on it, so he's not making any money. But he's putting it out, so there's nothing coming in.
Because he used his First Amendment right. And that's crazy. We have all these rights, but once we use them, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. We have freedom of speech, and we go talk. Shut up. Now you're wrong. Right. Oh, we got freedom of press. We go do that. Now that's wrong.
People not want to speak out.
Like,
it makes people not want to stand up for what they know to be right.
And it gets so angry that you're like, you know what? I can't take this crap no more. You know, I'm going to stand for what I'm saying. Like, like if nobody don't take the stand, then who will? You know? That's how I'm saying it. Like, you can't give us rights and then revoke us.
Colin, would you shut up in this moment?
No, I would not shut up because I think what needs to be said, it needs to be said, and the people need to hear it. And somebody, if like I said, if I'm not going to stand, then who will? Or I mean, somebody else will eventually. But I'm just saying in general, like somebody got to take that stand, and somebody got like no means no, stop means stop.
What happens when the support dies down? So you're doing good.
Keep going,
but the
keep
support
pushing.
Stops.
About the support, they guess. Oh well, they're not a part of. They're not a part of this movement. This is what's going on. This was need to be addressed, and this was going to happen. And I don't care if nobody don't support me. I'm going to push through it no matter what.
So what? So do you agree with the NFL banning him in many cases, blackballing him?
I don't agree with it at all. I mean, I feel as though they should be fine just because he's actually doing what he's supposed to do. His first, he can do what he can do. It's in the First Amendment. So if they getting mad at him for doing that, then it's something wrong with them. They need to go ahead.
They made it more of a patriotic issue. He's not being patriotic. He's not being true to the flag.
America's not being true to the flag. What in the world? They saying like or this place is segregated. America say, land of the free, home of the brave, and all it's come together. But yet at the same time, America is still segregated no matter what. Like if America wasn't segregated, why do you got to have some white in you to be a president? America's still racist. It's still segregated. It's just combobulated. America's a hypocrite, pretty much. Against their own words.
How does the black culture fit into that hypocrisy? And that may be like,
I don't think they try to fit us in it. I don't think America would want us to fit black people into it.
That's interesting. So I'm gonna curve this conversation a little bit because
I was getting
Hollywood's getting shiny, so he's starting to sweat a little bit. So Kwame Kiwi Arama, and I just butchered his last name. He is the creative director of Center Stage. Prior to Kwame becoming the artistic director of Center Stage was very not black. They would do a few plays here and there that were August Wilson and maybe somebody else, but it was mainly August Wilson plays being done there. But Kwame came in and totally revamped that. One of his two of his biggest pieces was his reinterpretation of A Raisin in the Sun with Beneath His House. Beneath His House, and he did the biopic of, and Beneath His Table was a continuation of if the family did move into that neighborhood,
didn't they?
What would happen?
Yeah,
the story ends at that point.
So it's like a sequel
what happens years after that they moved out?
Probably
so
bricks thrown into the window and stuff like that.
So the neighborhood becomes predominantly black, and it's just one white family left. So what happens? So that's kind of the continuation of the story. And then he did Marley, a biopic of Bob Marley, which was phenomenal. So we'll talk more about Kwame and him stepping down as artistic director when we return to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artists, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. As busy as you are, because they're good at itemizing their time, and they actually have a passion for what they do. One of the biggest lessons that I learned, I get to say this on Weird, was finding people who are not only interested in doing what you need to get done, but people who have a passion for it, because that will eliminate the idea of people just working for a paycheck. Right. Because when people sign up for a paycheck, we all had jobs where we slacked off, where we stole away in a little storage room.
Fell asleep.
Thank you.
I saw a meme the other day that had Bart Simpson and the little boy with the glasses. I didn't watch the show, so don't be mad at me. Don't send me no daggum messages. The little boy with the glass, Millhouse, that was his name. He's showing him a cave, and it says, when you're asked to show around the new coworker, and it says, this is where I come to cry. Cool.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We're here today. I'm your host, Nate Couser. Don't forget, if you're listening, you already know how to get to us. But you can go to our website at www.beexposedradio.com, and then YouTube Live automatically pops up. So you can definitely check out today's show live. And if you want to go back, you can go to YouTube and go to the Be Exposed Radio's page and click subscribe, so you can always get the alert when the Artist Exchange is live on air. Don't forget to also go to our fan page, the Artist Exchange Radio Show, and the group page, the Artist Exchange, on Facebook. Like us, share us, join us in the group. You're free to post all your creative and entrepreneurial stuff, your posters, your flyers, your upcoming events, your products, your services. Put them in the group, network, get to know people. Don't just dump your flyers and stuff in the group, but actually comment and talk to the people that you see posting. And there are many people from around the world actually in that group, so definitely take part in that and helping you to socially network on the internet with a focus and a purpose. So before we went to break, I brought up the story of Kwame deciding to step down. This is his sixth season that he's finishing, and he's going into his 7th season, and next summer he will be stepping down. He decided to get out while he was at the top of the charts, instead of like as you fall down you're like, let me just move out of here. But he's brought a level of diversity to the theater scene in Baltimore, in the arts in general, because he brought more plays of color, more plays that were not traditionally white, more mixed cast, more casting of actual Baltimore City residents, more than any other artistic director of Center Stage has done, which has had a trickling down effect, because a lot of the other theater companies have begun to do one black show a season, which is phenomenal because that wasn't happening at all. You know, so it's giving legitimacy to a lot of black or actors of color that wouldn't normally get them. Right. Whether they're not monopolizing the critics, so the critics aren't going out to see these people in the places that they normally perform in, so they're able to come and be a part of it. And I've got to meet Kwame a few times, and he's such a humble man, but he has so much energy and vigor. He's from London. They got him from over there, and they brought him here, and he's been phenomenal in his directing of plays in general, and being more inclusive with who he allows to come into Center Stage, and really opening the doors. Before, you didn't feel like Center Stage was yours or belonged to us as actors and theater professionals, but it feels like home. His production of Marley was phenomenal. From the moment you stepped in the door, you were on the beach in Jamaica. Literally the lobby, if you've ever been to Center Stage, the entire lobby was covered in sand. And he had like local performers come and perform each night. It was just crazy. And this was an original piece. The young man who played Marley was phenomenal. So he got authentic elements of theater and brought them to the city and helped to diversify the playing field. So we're going to be really sad to see him go, because the fear is, we just lost Obama. So who's coming up next? So that's the kind of like the hesitation, and as we follow the story, like who's gonna follow him up? Like what's gonna happen? Because it felt like, and this was people's remarks, it got really black at Center Stage. So the opposite, when the pendulum goes back, like are we gonna go back to that where people aren't allowed to audition if you live in a city? Because they would literally only pick actors that lived in New York. Or if you would not, you could probably go to an audition, but you weren't gonna get picked. Right. It was like one lady from Baltimore that would be in most of the plays, and that was like this young lady called Ife Butler, and she was the only black person from Baltimore that would be in plays. There were other black people, and they did like Once on This Island and plays like that, or mainly August Wilson plays, but he really brought a air of diversity and inclusion from our community to theater. So it's going to be sad to see Kwame go, but it happens. Right. So I want to find out, like, where can we find you at on social media, Mr. Myles, and what's coming next?
You can find me on Instagram at Just Stunt Productions.
Just Stunt.
Yep, JUST, STUNT.
Okay.
Productions, PRODUCTIONS.
There we go.
And you can find me on Facebook as well, Just Stunt Productions, and on YouTube, I'm Just Stunt 311.
So when do I get my interview? Like,
man, when do you want to interview, bro?
Like, cause I want to be a star, so
yeah,
I gotta
be,
you know. But what's next for you? What projects do you have coming up?
We're moving into documentaries, man. We're gonna start documenting different aspects of life, different people.
Okay.
So we're breaking into that new realm.
Okay. Well, speaking of documentary, man, I'm gonna have to get in contact with you because
for sure.
I'm trying to do a documentary myself.
Definitely, we can do that, man.
Yeah.
What subject matter are you looking to touch?
Since I started from day one, it's always been motivational. So I'm gonna keep that track of motivating, inspiring people, a motivational message. But it might go off a little bit into different realms, but mostly it's gonna inspire you.
So have you taken film classes, or are you learning as you go along?
Learning as I go, man.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
What's the hard part about that learning curve opposed to a teacher telling you techniques? And
I think it's actually easier, man, because I feel like personally, no disrespect to people who go to film school, but nobody can teach me how I teach myself. And I learn a certain way that sometimes people can't teach me how to learn my way. I go it and do it my way so that I can learn it my way.
It's most people I know, I have a friend, Titus James, that just took a film up at Towson, and but what you learn when you get to college, they don't tell you this before you get there, but what you probably learn now, your professors are teaching you from their perspective, whether it be from the teacher that taught them or a discovery that they made. So they're teaching you that perspective. So what you have to do and what you're now, so up into 12th grade, you're learning this is what it is. So college is more so this is what it is, but this is my perspective, and this is what I want to teach you. Because you can't really grade art in terms of good or bad. You are graded based on how well you learn the technique that was taught to you. Your ability to learn and regurgitate is what you judge on in college. But taking classes, it could be strenuous because that field, they're really particular in terms of what they want, what's right or wrong. But the ones that break out of that, they either fail or they succeed in terms of classroom experience. But you have to learn, you're taking it. College teaches you to have options and taking people. So that's your opinion. Well, this is what I personally feel, and take all three of those points of view and make a decision. So that's what college teaches you to be. And I wish that was like 101, like freshman seminar. I wish that was what they taught you in that class, because you're too busy thinking that's the right way to do things. So you spend the next 10, 12 years of your life trying to do it the way that professor told you to do it, and you realize it doesn't work.
Like, you gotta use what they teach and make it into your own way, pretty much.
But people don't get that until
later on down the line. Until they
it's no different than like real life. Like your parents raise you and say, "Hey, don't do that, don't touch that. That's hot." But if you never touched it, how would you know? So even though
you were one of those children, let me find out.
Even though like, it's important to follow those who came before you so that you know what was going on, at the same time, you got to have your own personal experience in what you do.
And it is helpful. So I always encourage people to try college. Even if you don't finish, even if you don't stay, try it. And figure that out, because it teaches you how to develop life skills.
And pay bills early.
Right. Well, I mean, it's all in... It's still something you have to be taught. You have to learn how to play with money or play with your career and figure out how to do it. It's all about making decisions, and nobody can tell you what to do. It may seem like that's what they're doing, but they're giving you options, and you're supposed to take from those options and build decisions on them. And a lot of people don't get that because they just think professors are telling you what to do, and most of them are.
College is not for some people, because you got to think about, look at Ray Kroc. He
but you don't know that until you try it. So I'm a person that encourages you to at least try once. But
I agree, because I'm with you. I've never taken nothing film classes or nothing like that, and I've been learning as I go, and plus being on sets, just learning like that. So you know, just shaping into your own way.
But a lot of people aren't grandfathering people in anymore.
That is so true.
So that world of learning stuff, you know, on the job training,
that's up to all up to you. Like, because you have to go find it yourself, and once you find, because when I didn't have no job. I had to actually go out and look to film companies. Like, hey man, like, I'm not trying to work for you or nothing like that, because I don't want to work for nobody. Like, I can be partners with you. We can work together or something like that. And that's how I started learning. That's how I got into the more film.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned how to do film, just by watching.
But I would tell people, don't be afraid to take
go to college though.
interns.
Definitely, yeah.
Try it.
Try it.
I'm not gonna say go to college, but
it's a wonderful experience.
Because if you and one thing that I'm learning is everybody can't go at 18.
Right.
You know, some people have to go. You know, I just read the story of Swiss Beats. He's now returning and going to college for the first time. You know, once you already established something, but now you just want the education, the foundation
right.
of all those years of you effing up and succeeding.
Putting that crazy glue and all of the structure.
Right, it makes sense. And
right.
we shy away from that because that's the white man's way of doing things, college. Right. But that's why he's winning, because he has the foundation of what he's doing.
And one key aspect too is the network. The people that you're surrounded with is so impactful that you can't even like really fathom. Like the people that want to be successful in life are in college.
Right.
You're not gonna meet you do meet crazy and bum people in college.
But you want to be, it's not necessarily what you're majoring in.
True.
Right. A lot of people
what you're majoring in is to help be the glue to what you want to do.
And right, and it's crazy that people go to college and do all this to go for their major and want, like you just said, and wind up not doing that job that they majored in.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
Why
because
go to they school? Look at what is profitable opposed to what their passion is. So they're choosing the profit over their passion. Mm-hmm. And what has to happen is
passion
so
over profit.
What am I good at? I don't necessarily have to, like, I'm a person who needed to go to school for acting. One, because I learned a specific way of doing acting that did not lend itself to my culture. So I went to the blackest school possible, and I learned what black theater was. So that was necessary for me. Now I could have went to a conservatory. I could have went to a community college and got that information, or community theater and got that information. But for me, I wanted the structure. It worked better in my opinion. But what I should have majored in was more of the business and administrative side of what I do, because that's what I lacked in as an artist. Right. The administrative glue that I needed. But like, you're taking business up. That helps you to be a business person at what it is that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Opposed to knowing how to, just simply balance a checkbook. No, I want to be able to create curriculum. Yeah. I want to be able to create, the master plan for my business. So somebody can take that on, opposed to me just, going to somebody's business and working my way up. And that's a way of doing it, but you're still limited in what you can actually learn, because you're not learning the fundamentals of what you're actually doing.
Right.
So try college. My former co-host, Alma, me and her used to go back and forth because we both went to school. We went to college and messed up. Wasted some money,
as we all do.
Right. And some time, and you realize you owe more than what you've gotten out of this experience. But then it starts to level out. So you still owe money, but what I've got from that experience is so much more powerful. I saw teachers that were bitter, that did not live out their dream and their aspirations, and it forced me to realize I got to get out there and do what it is that I'm talking about, because I'm gonna end up like this person, teaching somebody something that I really want to do.
Right, I be doing that too. I was in college, and I was looking at my teacher, like he was an acting teacher, and I'm like, "You're so good. Why are you not further than what you are right now?" Even though I
realize how they're teaching you, though.
Right, but I was just thinking though, and I'm like, man, he said, I'll be doing this for. I don't like people say I've been an extra for 11 years. What? Nah, I ain't trying to be an extra for no 11 years. I ain't trying. Nah, I ain't with that. And I understand. I'm grateful for you teaching me, but what are you doing that's not making you break through to where you trying to get to?
And it is not a right or wrong, because even being an extra, you still getting paid. You still in the union.
Yeah,
you still
but at the same time though, you
hours.
keep getting extra and extra roles, and that's people will get comfortable and complain. And they'll get comfortable being an extra.
Yeah, but part of that is still, but you have to look at the bigger picture, and it's not still learning. But everybody don't become a star at 21.
That's right. No,
we got great examples of people who did not get on, until they were 40, 50, 60 years old. So Morgan Freeman, like, he was in his 50s, his 40s before. Right. These people did not
Shamar Moore
get anything until they got to a certain level, but you didn't see all the work that it took for them to get to that point.
Right.
All the steady
I mean, they
ebbs
did
and
some
flows that they
extra
had.
roles, but they didn't continue doing. Like Tom Cruise, he did extra roles, but he didn't continue doing extra roles because you start studying more and you start learning more about it. Like, all right, you know what? I know enough. And I've learned enough not to be doing extra roles.
But but also, see, you have to look at history, you have to look at time, you have to look who you're talking to.
Right.
What was the given circumstances that he had that kept him from going after the lead role? What time period was he in? Whereas though that's all a person of color could actually obtain.
Right.
Like, you have to look at all those factors, not at the fact.
No, I was just not talking about color. I was just talking about just like a general statement.
Right, I'm just saying, but I'm speaking from that point of view. Like, we harp on people for not doing things, but some people have given circumstances.
Right.
Some people have children when they're 16 and choose to take care of them.
Right.
So
that's
they
different.
sacrifice a lot of what they.
That's different. I'm just talking about like if you got kids, then I'm not going to knock that. And you
so basically, what we're saying is like it depends on the situation.
Right, and it's an individual thing. Like whatever your given circumstances are, determine what you go for. Now, I'm not saying that you could just let your career lapse and then at 50 be like, you know what, I'm about to do this.
Right.
But if you haven't done anything up until that point, chances are it's going to be 12,000 times as hard for you to be successful at what you want to do. But it's not impossible still.
They still do work. I'm just saying, like, just extra roles. I mean, I don't know. It's just my personal.
You personally don't want to be extra.
Right.
That's cool, but some people might want to be extra.
Right. Because they may not have had
they're comfortable. I'm just saying, though.
Or they just haven't had the skill set to. Because some people, that's their classroom.
And that's when we got to work. That's when you got to work on you and build yourself and know what you want.
Exactly.
And even doing it that way, you networking, you're meeting different people. And maybe your goal isn't to be the leading person. Maybe your goal is to be the director or the executive producer. And you're doing that to pay your way through whatever. And you're learning. So when opportunity knocks, I can now go start my own production company.
Right.
So I do believe like it's an individual thing, and you have to figure out what works for you. But I'm not at the point where I can be bitter about what it is. Yeah. So with that, we got our last break. I think this is our last commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Mr. Myles Banks.
It's going down.
Mr. Inspirational. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
But no, that's how we think it though. Like, as far as the extra.
Check out this snippet from the new season of Talk Lately with Monty when he rants about his staff.
I agree. Can you come on? I told you stop touching that button. Why is it so loud? God. Did you turn one all the way up again? Do I have to come in there? Damn her. If it was going right, I would let you do your part, but I'm sorry, but it's just not functioning the way it's supposed to be.
You lied on the air.
I told you mind your business.
Well, Monty, if I can comment on the Jennifer Holiday situation, I know
I'm live on the air. I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
I know I'm live on the air. This is why this whole show is called Talk Lately. Anyway, let's get back to every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Since you've been listening this far, we're going to throw in a little bonus hour. You ready? Hoo-ha!
Bonus hour's gonna last. I'm getting addicted.
I love this extra hour. Everything is organic here on the bonus hour.
Yeah, baby. Hey, yo, check this out.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. In the building, we have live Mr. Michael Ryder. There we go. And Mr. Steve Yarn. They're doing a partnership based on what was it again? The stories of the Vulcan Blazers. An awesome production that they have coming up. And now the name of it will be called
Baltimore Heat.
There we go. They were telling us a little bit about, they're in the pre-production phase of developing this Baltimore-based production. It seems like a really awesome idea. I always love for more artistic events to come here.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
for doing it. Welcome back. This is the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. So I normally ask my guests this, but Myles was more like a co-host today than he was a guest. But I always ask everyone this question when they first come on the show, and I'll ask you, even though it's like probably last year or so. But what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
Man, what would I give my 17-year-old self?
Not to change anything, because we don't change history, because we've learned when you change history, you destroy everybody else's history. But what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
I would tell myself, you're not going to make it. Because if I would have told myself that I would be here right now, I wouldn't be successful, because I'd be focusing on, oh, I got it, I'm going to get it. So I wouldn't worry about focusing and working hard. And,
you're a strange young man, sir. I'm just going to say it. You're a different type of young man.
Different, definitely. Most definitely. But I mean, like, I'm the type of person that I gotta be motivated and self-regulating myself. So if I'm like, if I think I got it, I'm not gonna focus on getting it. But if I don't have it, it makes me go get it. It's like,
somebody,
like a warrior.
Right? It's like somebody tell like, yo, you ain't gonna do it. Or I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna show you.
Exactly.
Watch this. I'm gonna show you.
It's the underdog complex. Like you have to. Confidence is necessary to sustain you.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but the confidence level in walking into a room saying I got this sustains you.
Yeah.
Because even in those moments where you don't know, your confidence gets you to walk through the door.
Right.
Because sometimes you go believe yourself in, like, I can't do this.
Right.
And you don't know where your mind, those things that get attached to us, or what happens in your life where you might believe that in that one instance. So that's scary to me. If that works for you, hey, rock with it. But I could never walk into a room saying, oh, you know what? This ain't gonna happen, because that's not gonna motivate me.
Right.
Like, I have to go the opposite way.
So it's individual motivation.
Yeah. Well, everybody is different, but that is strange. I've never heard somebody say that. I've seen people live their life like that. Like people, I know people who live their life like that. But it's normally they're not saying it to themselves because they're hearing it outside of themselves. How is your family and friends support? How does that help or not?
Like I said earlier, man, I just try to stay close to people that's like focused on being the best version of themselves. Like I try to stay away from people that are like just bitter and just like angry about life. I mean,
for no reason.
I feel like, life is a gift. Every day you wake up is a blessing and it's a gift.
Right.
So every day you got to push towards being the best version of yourself.
If this wasn't your life, what would you be doing?
Man, I'd be grinding, doing something else, man. But I guarantee you I would be successful.
And most artists, they have this thing of, okay, if I'm an actor, I really want to be a singer. If I'm a dancer, I really want to be a painter. So is this something that you always looking, or not always, but you've often looked on the other side of the grass and thought, I wonder if I can try that?
Man, I have a lot of philosophies of what I want to do in my life. But one thing I definitely want to get into is music. I love music. Music is something that's like, it's a whole other world.
In what aspect? Instruments?
Like,
singer, dancer?
Just making music and being around people who make music and just having that vibration of like people that create things.
Hit me up when you get back in Baltimore.
Yeah, man, we could do something. Bro.
Definitely, I got studios.
But figuring out where that energy lies at. But in terms of, you always wanted to be a producer or a writer of music? Is that the
I would just say, in total, all in all, I would always consider myself as a creative. But I know music is just something that's fundamental, like in my like soul. It's just like that's what keeps me going is music. So to take it a step further and create it would be like that would be the.
Who are you listening to right now?
Man,
who's like your top five?
Top five, I would say, I gotta say Logic.
Okay.
The old Drake.
Okay.
Nipsey Hussle.
Hey. No Kendrick Lamar.
Is it 5? Who else? I listen to a lot of motivational stuff, man, inspirational stuff.
Like Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas. Even though he's not a rapper, but
Les Brown.
He got a mixtape.
Oh, yeah, he don't got a mixtape.
And I would say the last one. I would say take it back, like Erykah Badu.
Okay, some balance.
Some soulful stuff.
Little balance. So that has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. When I see you next week, I don't know what I might be feeling like. These children just might drain my soul.
If he come back here yelling at everybody, we know what happened.
I'm not a yeller.
Hey!
When I was a young teaching artist, that was me. Because I would give you a lecture before I teach the class. Like, every time the class got 2 tenths, that was me.
Oh, you was like one of them Adams Family type teacher.
Yeah.
And you rang Mrs. Adams.
Yeah,
I got a class for you
not
today.
creepy,
I'm going to tell you something.
But as a young person, I was passionate about what it is, and I didn't understand why you couldn't be.
Right.
But I've learned that everybody doesn't want to do what you want to do.
Right.
So with that being said, this has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Only on BigExposedRadio.com. Definitely stay tuned, stay locked in. Shout out to the Annex family. I'm going to their event, hopefully, if I get out of the emergency room in time. I'll be going down
about that? Well, you just got to put some ice on it.
Down to the Annex Theater. They're celebrating this final season. They ended up with Foul Play, King of Howard Street. So I'll be hanging with the crew tonight. I don't know how long, though, because pain medicine might be in there.
Man, put some ice on it.
This man, sir. His inside's probably all this lopsided.
Oh, no, my insides are great. I just got a doctor's appointment checkup last week. I'm good.
Oh, he went to go tell me he put ice on it, but he wasn't a doctor.
I mean, that was for something different, but it's just a little bit of pain, man.
So
nice.
Thank you, Mr. Myles, for stopping by. You're welcome
thanks, bro.
anytime.
Definitely
come back.
It's our time, man.
Shout out to Mr. Eric and Miss Cara. I said it wrong. But again, this has been the Artist Exchange. Look us up. If you missed any part of the show, check us out on YouTube. Go to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, and all of our shows will pop up. And just choose today's date, and you'll be able to check out the interesting topics, conversation, and more. So shout out. Be safe. King
Hullywood Hall. So y'all just King Hullywood Instagram.
Right. Yes, there we go.
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May